So this vlog is going to be about the role of attractions at Walt Disney World. I worked in the Hollywood Studios last year as an attractions cast member, and I worked at Star Tours, the original Star Tours, before it closed. I was actually the last international cast member to work there, which is a pretty cool little fact about me. So I'm going to try and cover it quite generally. Obviously I will be referring to Star Tours as a point of information though. First thing I was going to talk about was rotations. Rotations is a concept that covers quite a few different roles, but particularly attractions. Basically, it's a list of jobs. You start off with, when you log into the computer in the start of your shift, it will pop up and tell you to go to a particular position. So, for example, greeter. Say, hello Catherine, please go to greeter. Go to greeter and you hand the piece of paper to the person who's already standing there, and then they go to their next role. So they might be going to fly a sim or go to unload. And then they give the piece of paper to the next person, the next person, the next person, until the last person on the rotation gets told to go back to the computer. And when they log in on the computer, they might be given a break, they might be sent home, or they might start off another rotation. And basically it means that everyone gets to move around, and every rotation should come around about 45 minutes. At Star Tours it was every 45 minutes or so. So it means that actually if you're working on attractions, you might not be standing there and saying how many for the entire day, which was one of my worries about the role. So that's a good thing, attractions rotations. Positions that you might get on a rotation. Some of them are very general and you get at every attraction. Greeter is one of them. At Greeter you're going to be answering questions all the time. You're going to be measuring children if it is a height restriction on your ride. At Star Tours it was 40 inches, which is 102 centimetres. So you have to make sure that the child is exactly that height or higher. You'll also be helping guests using the fastpass system. Fastpass, if you don't know what it is basically a thing where it's on certain popular attractions. The guests can put their park ticket into a machine, and in return the machine gives them a time, and they can go away and they can come back in between the times on the ticket. So it might say your fastpass is for 2 PM to 2:30 PM. So they have to come back within that time. They can't come back beforehand. They can't theoretically come back after that either. But they can only have one fast pass at a time. But it basically means they get to enter the ride in a different queue line and skip most of the queue. So whilst they have to wait a couple of hours to go back and ride it, they don't have to queue up. So that's fast pass. So you'll be helping people with fast pass as well. Photo cell, which is the point when you've finished queuing and you get to the point where you're going to be loading onto the ride. So that's the point when you would say to somebody, how many in your party? They would say 6, and you would say, okay, that's fine, go down to sim number 2, sim number 3, or just hold on 1 minute, we'll get you your next flight, will be coming very soon. Once you send the people down to whichever simulator they're going to ride, this is for a Star Tours reference really, but Star Tours had 6 simulators, so you potentially could be sending them to any of them. Once they've got down to the simulator, then the person who's flying that simulator will load them into the ride and do up their seatbelts and all that stuff, check this health and safety, and then actually launch the simulator to fly. Obviously in other rides this might be, say, Splash Mountain, you'll be loading people into boats, or if you're at Rock and Roller Coaster you'll be loading them into a roller coaster. So it varies basically, but it's a similar pattern. Unload, there's always going to be an unload on the attraction or the show. And that is basically helping people leave the ride. So, you know, asking them how their ride was, answering questions where to go next, or, you know, whether they can ride it again, and that kind of thing. Also helping, at Star Tours specifically, helping people who are less mobile on and off the ride. So people in ECVs or wheelchairs, helping them to access the ride as well. And tower. Now, tower is the position you might not know anything about, because normally you don't see it when you ride the ride. Basically it's like the big brother of all rides. You sit in a little room. At Star Tours it was a little room, and you had 6 screens in front of you, 1 for each simulator, and it was a camera that looked inside the cabin. So there were 40 people per simulator, so you would sit and it was your job to monitor all these screens over your time in tower. Make sure no one was taking pictures or video, make sure no one was being sick, no one had passed out, no one had wiggled out of their seatbelt and was running around the ride, all those kind of things. Believe me, it happened. And also to contact managers and things like that if you were having any problems, and also to speak into the cabin. So if people were taking videos, you have to tell them to stop doing it. Sometimes you would have to work outside on an attractions ride. Often, obviously, greeter is normally outside, fast pass, and then there are sometimes other roles as well. For Star Tours, we helped out at Jedi Academy as well. That was within our rotations. It's not anymore, but at the time it was. We'd basically be signing up children to to fight Darth Vader and the Stormtroopers, and learn how to use a lightsaber. So for us, it would be sitting outside, signing kids up on a piece of paper, and monitoring the queue, monitoring the crowd, all those kind of things, and the health and safety of the performers as well. But working outside can be very, very hard work. In Florida is 35, 36, 38 degrees Celsius most days for the summer. No breeze, no wind, and if you get rain, it normally comes down absolute bucket loads. You get soaked, so you don't even get a little light bit of rain to help you out. It's very hot. My only piece of advice is just drink water all the time. Drink water and don't think about how hot it is, and that will help you. Some costumes are very, very hot, and believe me, you know it's hot when you feel sweat roll from the top of your neck all the way down the back of your costume. You know you're hot. So that's a gross comment. That was Jedi Academy, and that's working outside as well. Pack, that's the other thing you might be doing outside. Parade audience control, pack. For us, we had the Block Party Bash parade that came through the park at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So pack would be a fantastic role. It was my favourite thing to do. I would have been happy to do it every single day, even though it required going outside for a long period. Basically, to set up poles and ropes, make sure that guests didn't stand in front of the parade floats and get knocked down. Make sure that they were all enjoying themselves, clapping, singing along, just playing with the kids. It was just really good fun. So pack is something you definitely might be doing if you work in the Magic Kingdom or in the Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom. There are other bits of pack as well to do with fireworks and of special events and things, so you might be doing pack for one of those as well. I think that's about it. The only other thing is hours and pay. Hours, you could be working up to 10 or 12 hour shifts. My longest was 16 and a half, but that was quite unusual. And pay is normally around about average for Walt Disney World. You don't get any extra, but you do get extra breaks in attractions because you have to, it's a very health and safety critical role. You have to be alert at all times, so you get extra breaks, which is pretty cool. So, if you have any questions, feel free to post on here or post on my blog. See the description below for the address. And I hope you enjoyed this one. Bye!